Alright, this is video lecture 2. It'll be another 5-10 minutes. And I want to talk to you about researching for paper 2. I had you read 2 chapters from The Craft of Research for today. And I just want to reiterate some of the main points that they talked about. So the first thing is about what you should be doing right now and through the weekend for starting to research for paper 2. In the book, it talked about reading for ideas, reading for evidence, and then reading for argumentation. This first thing, what I want you to be doing right now, which you'll be doing and recording in your research log, which I mentioned in the email, is to just read a lot about parts of this topic that you're interested in. So you need to just be reading different articles and recording not details about their arguments or about much except what they're talking about and what part of what they're talking about is interesting to you. So you're reading, you're skimming. You should, in half an hour, you should be able to skim 5 or 6 articles. You should be searching the library database, looking for books and articles. You should know a little bit how to do that now that you've done Clue. So you should do Clue before you start researching. Start researching and you're just reading, trying to decide what it is that you really want to look for and learn about for paper 2. Don't start thinking about your argument. I don't want any arguments. I just want you to think about ideas, what's interesting. Absolutely don't start thinking about a thesis statement. Don't start thinking about if an article would be a good pro or con article. You're just deciding what you really want to study. So you should be reading broadly. And then next week we'll start doing other things, reading for evidence and taking copious notes, careful notes, and recording everything you learn and looking at argumentation and what kind of arguments are being made, what kind of questions are being made. But we'll be doing that next week. So right now, you need to start thinking about paper 1. What do you want to write about? I want you to I also want to highlight what the Craft of Research said about reading generously. Always, we teach you to be critical thinkers and to really look for the problems and arguments, and it's a great skill. But especially at these beginning stages of research, read generously. Think that every idea potentially is interesting and every idea potentially is true. That's why, for example, with pollen, I said, let's imagine that he's not contradicting himself. Right now we're just really wanting to understand this issue. So we could have said, okay, Pollen's, he's contradicting himself and this is ridiculous and we don't even know what he's saying anyway. But if you read generously and give him the benefit of the doubt, at first you'll learn a little bit more. Okay, so it looks like he's contradicting himself, but what could he be doing? As you read, don't just discredit ideas or don't just start to immediately pick apart people's arguments. That comes a little bit later. Now, I'm going to have you skim chapter 3. I think it's chapter 3. I'll make sure that I give you the exact chapter. But one more chapter of the Craft of Research. And I'm doing this because it talks about a research statement, which is probably a little bit different than language you use in other classes. Usually everyone talks about a research question. But I think this research statement is more useful because it has 3 different stages, and at each stage of the research, you fill in another part of that research question. So the first part, and as you skim, I'll take notes on this, either as I'm saying it and or in the book, The Craft of Research. First part of the research statement. I'm interested in reading about X. This is what you should know maybe by tomorrow, Friday at the latest. You should start to know, I'm interested in reading about trans fats. I'm interested in reading about organic food. I'm interested in reading about the environmental impact of food consumption. Very broad. This is your topic, as a lot of things would say it. But it's a thing that you're curious about, that you want to know about. After you determine that, and I'm hoping that with these 2 broad reading sessions, you'll be able to decide that. So by Friday or Saturday, you'll have this, I'm interested in reading about X. You'll know that. Then after that, you start reading more narrowly in that topic specifically. And you add the next part. I'm interested in reading about X because I want to know. And here you narrow a little bit and you decide more specifically what you want to work on. What's this question? What's your research question? I want to know how packaged foods impact farming in Wisconsin. Example. I'm interested in reading about the environmental impact of food consumption because I want to know how highly processed foods impacts farming in Wisconsin. It's a narrower question. The last part of this, some teachers have talked to you about so what, asking why does your research question matter? The so what part comes at the end of this because I want to tell my readers something. I'm interested in reading about trans fats because I want to know if the new obsession with trans fats is warranted or not, because I want to help my readers make informed decisions about foods. So that's going to be the last part. You don't need to worry about that for now. We'll get to that in a week or even a little bit later. What you really want your research, what you really want your readers to know. All right, that's very important. Write this down. I'm interested in reading about X, and that should be the thing that you're trying to answer in your research log the next few days. What is it that you really want to read about? You can investigate lots of different things right now, but I'm hoping by Friday, maybe Saturday, you'll know what you want to read about. And then Monday, Wednesday, you'll start narrowing your research and reading only articles about that topic. All right, good luck. Please let me know if you have any questions.